Hello, I am Brajendra. Welcome to lesson number 19 of C++ programming language. And in this video, we will study about while and do while loops present in C++ programming language. So, what is the plan? As usual, first we'll look at basic syntax, then most common use case, followed by a loop head and test expression, loop body, scope of loop variables. I should not say loop variables, it should be scope of variables, then break, continue, nesting, and a few working programs. So here is the basic syntax: while and test expression. So this test expression is essential. If it evaluates to true, it enters into the body of the loop. So a pair of braces makes the body of the loop. If you need to write only one statement as body of the loop, then it is not essential to use pair of braces. While is a keyword, and this is the loop head, and these starting from the opening brace to closing brace, it is referred to as loop body. And remember, while is a keyword, so you cannot use while for any other purpose except for the purpose it has been defined for. Then the most common use cases, here is the test expression. Okay, this is the loop head from this point to this point. This is loop head, and this is the test expression. Assuming that I has been declared before entering this while loop or while test expression. So if this test expression evaluates to true, it means if I is less than 5, it will evaluate to true, otherwise it will evaluate to false. So if it is true, it will enter the body of the loop and it will start executing those statements. Then it body ends here. You can make wherever you want, you can make a pair of braces scope. Okay, and here it comes back. So if I is being incremented or decremented, whatever, so it will keep on executing the body of the loop until this becomes false. So loop head is this, as I told you, this is the test expression here within the parenthesis, and this is the loop body. Now the scope of variables, in this case, same example, except I have introduced one integer variable inside the loop body. Okay, and if I want to print the value of this variable j outside the loop body, it will give syntax error because j has been declared inside a pair of braces, that is loop body, so it becomes the local variable to this loop body. So scope of the variables is the loop body, scope of those variables which have been declared inside the loop body. A pair of braces makes a loop scope, so wherever you require to make some scope, you can make use of pair of braces. Any variables declared inside the loop body are local to the body. Now break statement, its behavior is just like the break statement which we used in for loops. So again, same, while, test expression, etc., same statement and other statements, and break. So what happens is break is a first of all, break is a keyword, so you cannot use break for any other purpose except for the purpose it has been defined for. The break breaks the loop at that point, so it starts executing. Once it enters the loop body, it starts executing those statements, and as soon as break is encountered, break is executed, it comes out of the loop from this point itself. So loop breaks if break is executed or the text expression fails. So if this is false, I should not say loop breaks. If test expression fails, it does not enter the loop body at all. So loop breaks if break is executed. And one thing more, in case of nesting, only that loop is broken inside which the break is executed. Now similarly, continue. Here what happens? Once the loop body is entered, it keeps on executing the statements, and if due to any reason continue is executed, then what does it do? It skips remaining statements. It does not execute the remaining statements or a statement following continue. Continue is also a keyword. And it skips remaining statements and again enters the test expression. So if it succeeds, then it again enters the loop body, and if it executes continue, again it skips the remaining statements. So continue is a keyword. So again, you cannot make use of continue for any other purpose except it has been defined for. It skips the remaining body of the loop and continues with the test expression. And just like break, continue affects only that loop inside which it has been executed. Now nesting, just like for loop, there is no limit on depth of nesting. So you can have as many nested while loops as you require. Now the do while, its behavior is just like a while, but the only difference between do while and while loop is that in case of while loop, there is no guarantee that the loop body would be executed at least once. Whereas in case of do while, it is guaranteed that the loop body would be executed at least once. So there are situations where we want that our loop should be executed at least once, and depending on the test condition or test expression, it may or may not execute the loop body again. So here is the syntax, this do, then just like while, these are statements. So this is the loop head, you can say, and this makes the loop body this green area, and followed by while test expression. So while comes after the loop body, and remember, be careful about this semicolon. This is the statement terminator. I've seen a number of students, they tend to forget to place the semicolon. Okay, it is essential here. So it will enter the loop definitely, and then it will test the expression. If it fails, it will come out of the loop, otherwise it would continue. Okay, continue to execute the loop body. Again, do and while both are keywords. Now let us see some working programs. So on the left pane, I have written some program. Okay, so let me execute this. While this is the smallest while loop, though it is infinite loop. So here you can see here no braces. Okay, while one is a test expression, it is always true and it is doing nothing. Okay, so it is an infinite loop, smallest possible loop, which is infinite as well. Okay, so it is entering into an infinite, it has entered into infinite loop. And in case of Linux like operating systems, if I want to terminate this program, abort this program, I need to press Control and C key. It comes out of it. So this is the smallest while loop. Now another program, this is an infinite loop, but it is not the smallest one, of course. So let me execute it. So what does it do here? These are the standard statements. So this is also an infinite loop, but here the loop body is from this opening brace to this closing brace. It is asking me to type in an integer. Okay, I will type in an integer, assuming that it will provide integer only. If the value typed in is equal to 0, it will break. Otherwise, it will print the value. Okay, so let me execute it. Let me execute it by typing this while infinite integer 3. It prints the integer and comes back to the loop because break has not been executed. It prints the value, goes back. Okay, -3, absolutely no problem. Now if I have typed 0, it breaks the loop. So it does not print the value because it breaks the loop from this point itself, and the program terminates. Another program here, this file has to be hash included for changing the precision. So let me execute this while Now you can see here, first one is this integer variable declared initialized to 0, and for I equal to 0, then this expression is true. It enters the loop, increments the value of I, so it keeps on. We have not written anything, so this is an example of while loop with a loop body having only one statement. Now I have declared one float variable and initialized it to 0.3. So this test expression would succeed in the first instance, and then it will print its value, then increment it by 0.3. So how many times this this loop body should be executed? For 0.31, 0.6, 0.9, 1.2, okay, 4 times. But you can see here, for the first time it prints this 0.3, then it increments it by 0.3, so next time it prints 0.6, then 0.9 only. Why? The same old story of IEEE floating point representation, IEEE 754 standard. I have just used this cout endl to create one space here. Okay. Now here, as I told you in one of the previous videos, set precision. By default here it will print at the most 6 digits, significant digits after decimal point. Okay, so here I want to increase this precision, so I will say set precision 8. So I'm expecting 8 digits to be printed after decimal point. So same loop. Now this loop body would keep on printing this value. Now you can say cout f, it is printing a value which is not 0.3 exactly. It is 0.3 and some digit after 6 zeros. So it is slightly greater than 0.3. So as I told you, all numbers, floating point numbers, cannot be represented exactly in IEEE 754 floating point representation. So next time you add 0.3 followed by 6 zeros, 1, 2, the same number, the result being 0.6 followed by 6 zeros and 2 and so on. So now you can see here, when fourth time it tests this expression, so what happens? The result would be not 1.2, it will be slightly greater than 1.2, and hence it does not enter the body of the loop, and that is why it prints, the loop body executes only 3 times. One more example for continue, while continue. The same example, the only thing is here I say, you can see here, type in an integer. It is expecting me to type an integer. C in VAL, as I told you number of times, every input, every device file, every device is associated with a device file which is associated with a buffer, you can say. So whatever you type at the keyboard actually gets deposited into an associated buffer. And what happens is, if it successfully converts whatever has been provided into the expected type of data, then it will not fail, otherwise it will fail. So this is the member function fail. This will be true if it fails to read the proper value, and if it fails, then it will raise the flag, but it will not clear the buffer. Whatever you have provided as input, it will remain there. So next time it will not wait for you to type in, it will assume that you have again typed the same wrong value, wrong type of value. So let me clear that buffer, cin.clear, and then get char. So clear, it clears the flag which tells me, which informs me that it has failed, and then it clears the buffer, and get char would remove that character from the buffer. Okay, and then it says continue. It means it will not enter this if block. It will continue. It means it will skip all remaining statements of the while body of the while loop, and then it goes back here, and then again it will say type an integer. If I provide the proper value, then it will print its value, and if it is 0, it will break the loop. So the demonstration of both continue as well as break. So let me provide some value 3. It says 3, minus 3, minus 3. Now if I provide a, since it is not an integer, it will skip the remaining statements. It will clear the flag, it will clear the buffer, you can say, and it will continue, and it will again print this value. So if I say now 0, it will say, it will come out of the program. Now the last one, do while, the same statements. Here I have declared one more statement, two variables of type integer, and now here it will execute all these statements. It is the body of these statements make the body of the do while loop. Okay, so type in the integer to find the square of, you provide some number. Here we are assuming that you are not providing any non-numerical value, and it will be integer only. Then want to continue, if 1 for yes and any other number for no. So if you want to continue, type 1, otherwise you type 0. Okay, so let me execute this. Do while. So if I say minus 3, its square is plus 9. Want to continue, I will say 1. Okay, yes. 3, 9. Want to continue, let me type 0 for no. It comes out of the loop. In the next video, we will study one of the most fundamental, we can refer to it as a data structure in C++ programming language. That is all in this video. Thanks for watching.